Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope all of you are doing well. So it's early Saturday morning here in the sunshine state of Florida. The just over uh, overheated, I guess, is the best way to put it. It gets too hot here during the summertime, but I've lived in Florida long enough that you tend to get used to it, but it still sucks. But it won't last very long, as we will be getting some rain and some thunderstorms today in the next few hours, and pretty much will run all day, just about. I want to point out that I will have a review for the new How to Train Your Dragon film. I'm actually going to be seeing that tonight. So I will have a review probably up either tomorrow or Monday for that. But today I'm going to be reviewing Final Destination 2, which was released in 2003. And this is one of those movies that fell under the radar for me because at the time I was, dealing with moving. I had spent, probably 3 months up in New Jersey, spending time with family. Because at the time, me and my family went up. They left me there. They went back down. I stayed. Um, which had its moments. It was great, but not so great. But it did give me the opportunity to spend time with my grandmother one last time. Unfortunately, I want to say about maybe the following year or 2005, it might have been like 2 years later, I, would lose my grandmother. Um, so to have that time with her during that, period, uh, it was nice. So Final Destination 2 came out in 2003, as I stated. Didn't realize it came out until it was actually released on DVD. And I remember when I was staying in New Jersey with family, my cousin picked me up. I was going to stay with them, and uh, she rented the movie, and we ended up watching it. And I was very surprised on how good this movie was. Um, Mind you, the first movie is always going to be the better out of the series, but I feel like this movie alone is right there with the first film. It's well, I'm not going to get too much into, future reviews of the franchise because I don't want to ruin anything just yet. But to tie in this movie with the first movie, I think was done very, very well. Now, I'm going to give you guys a fair warning. There will indeed be spoilers for this review. So if you have not seen this movie, then go ahead and stop this video, go watch Final Destination 2, and then come back. But I just gonna give you guys a fair warning that there will be spoilers in this video. So, the film was directed by David R. Ellis. I do have the IMDb. Let me phrase that. Let's rewind. I have the IMDb page so I don't mess anything up with character names and things like that. But it was directed by David R. Ellis. The film was written by Mackie Gruber, I guess is how you pronounce it. We Eric Bress and Jeffrey Reddick. So you had three writers. There was three writers for the first movie. So it's pretty interesting that the first two films had at least three writers. So of course we have Tony Todd coming back, reprising his role as Mr. Bloodworth. AJ Cook plays Kimberly Corman. We have Ali Lauder returning as Claire Rivers, or Claire Rivers, whatever you want to call her. We have Michael Lands or Landis, I don't know, who plays Thomas Burke. We have David Peku, who plays Evan Lewis. I'm sure I butchered his last name. James Kirk plays Tim Carpenter. Linda Boyd plays Nora Carpenter. Keegan Connor Tracy, who plays Kat. Jonathan Cherry plays Rory. Terrence T.C. Carson plays Eugene Dix. Um, he's an actor that you guys will know from other projects. I will mention him, what he's done later in the review. And then you just have a few other actors here and there. So just like the first movie, we have uh, Kimberly Corman, AJ Cook's character, Kimberly Corman, who has this premonition. And um, just like the first film, where Alex had the premonition of something truly bad was going to happen, so does Kimberly. This time around, the disaster happens on the highway. And this is where the fear of the log trucks come into play. And of course, saves everybody. But there's a different twist to this. Her friends, she doesn't save. Compared to the first movie where the friends, or somewhat of the friends, are saved, this movie, she saves more of the individuals that would be in this disaster, but her friends don't make it. So I thought that was a nice little twist. You would have thought, oh, okay, she saved everybody. No, the friends right away. She saves them for a little bit, but then right away, you know. So it was like, Death's plan was like, nope, not this time around. So I thought that was a really nice twist there. So now, um, the cast alone, you're going to have a lot of familiar faces. Um, there's a few actually who went on to do other projects. Um, so I thought that was pretty exciting, because I feel like this movie, along with the first movie, really made their cast. I mean, Final Destination 2, or Final Destination, let's rewind that a little bit. The first movie, had a well known cast at the time. This movie would have some familiar faces and names, but a lot of the cast in here would go on to make careers for themselves. Some already had established careers, which is always cool to see. But yeah, you also have Alejandro Rey, who plays Dano, I believe is her name. Um, and, you know, just like the first movie, death starts to pick off everybody one by one. What I do like about this movie is really um, tying in these characters to the characters of the first film. And that's the one thing I love about this movie, is that there is a deeper story arc to these characters, and really tying in both films. Now, the one thing about the franchise, and it's kind of similar to the Crow franchise, is that, in the Crow franchise, anybody can be a Crow. If their love is strong enough and something evil happens, and they have to be resurrected, um, Final Destination kind of plays in that, in almost that same lore, where anybody can have a premonition. No, I've stated in my review for the first film that there's this theory, excuse me, that those who are having the premonitions are the ones who are not actually supposed to die. The ones who, everybody else around these characters who are having the premonitions are the ones who are supposed to die in this tragic event that the person who has the premonition. This is kind of their sign of, hey, you're not supposed to be here. This is what's going to happen. You need to go. That's basically Death letting them know what his plan is. Um, so, uh, you know, just like any of the other films, this is where, they don't get the idea of that, and they start to save others, and it plays, basically death is like, fine, then you're gonna go too. Um, so they do change some interesting things. Well, I wouldn't say change, but they do add a few things to this film compared to the first movie. On how to defeat, like kind of beat Death's plan. And it is stated that, if you die for more than 5 minutes and somebody brings you back, you basically get in better terms, a free out of jail card. It's basically you get to live on with your life. So I always thought that was interesting. Or if somebody saves you, you kind of switch in some way. Um, Now, what's interesting about this film, I think this is like the first of the franchise where they basically kill off a teenage kid. Um, I mean, I haven't got to the review yet, but it'd be the first film of that. And, later on, I think they, continue that kind of rule. But that's kind of, at the time wasn't, well known for a lot of films. A lot of films wouldn't kill off kids, whether they were teenage. Well, some would. I mean, it depends. I mean, a lot of actors who were supposed to play teenagers were grown adults, but this movie actually had a child actor. So at the time, to be kind of like, the first time to actually kill off a character that was a kid that was actually played by a kid, I guess is the way I'm trying to state it. But you guys know exactly what I'm trying to say. I mean, um, now I don't know if you guys heard my stomach growl. It may get picked up from the audio. I don't know. But what I like about this film is that you do bring back Claire, whatever you want to call her. And she's been spending pretty much her whole entire time in a mental institution to avoid Death's plan. We find out she is actually the last survivor of everybody. We do find out that, after the events of the first film of The Sign coming, we do find out who gets killed. And then later on, we find out Alex gets killed by a brick. There's newspaper articles and things like that. So she is the one that tries to help them because, the flight um, explosion that ended up happening in the first movie, because these two movies exist in the same universe, they are aware of what, is going on now. And the only person they know to potentially help them in some way is Claire. And that's where she comes into play to help them understand what's going on and things like that. There is one scene in this movie. This is where it starts to get really good. So we've already lost a few victims throughout the film. We do find out that one individual in this film wasn't actually supposed to be in the disaster, and she's pregnant with a child. So that was a nice little twist there. But what's very interesting is there's a scene where they're in a van, and at least everybody who has survived at this moment, after losing a few people in the film, we find out that everybody's connected. We find out this isn't just like another tragic event. These individuals are, well, they escaped death before, and this is kind of like a full circle moment. Um, we find out that Thomas's character, who plays the cop, um, and kind of the love interest for the character Kimberly, we find out that he was supposed to go, I think, with a partner of his, and he was supposed to do something, and if he did, he wouldn't be alive. So what ended up happening is he got a call to the crime, well, I wouldn't say crime scene, but the tragic accident scene from the first movie that took out Sean William Scott's character, Billy. And you're just like, no way. We find out that Eugene Dix, played by Terrence T.C. Carson, his character, you know, we find out, I think another teacher was stabbed that he was, teach at the school he was teaching at. But we find out, he escaped that situation, and he was going to be transferred to replace the teacher from the first movie. And we just get more and more connections with the characters, and it's just like you start to sit and it's like, holy crap. This movie just got a whole lot interesting. And, throughout the film, it just really goes crazy from there. Now, what I do like, other than, them kind of connecting the first movie and the second movie together, and, uh, you know, making sure the characters are connected in some way, what I do like is that they get really creative on how they take out the victims of the film. Like, I feel like each movie we get to, the way they create these death scenes for these characters are very unique and interesting in their own way. They try to blend things that could potentially happen in reality, but then there are moments where it just feels too cartoonish in a way, as we get later into the series. But the whole story arc and just connecting the two films together with these characters and showing that this is not the first time they've escaped death, it really plays. Uh, I think it blends and plays really well. And the cast alone, I thought was great. The chemistry between everybody was fantastic. Of course, at the beginning of the film, when everything happens, of course, you got the agents questioning everything. We've seen that in the first film, and it really, it's kind of those things where things happen, you're not sure what exactly is going on. But I do like it, and unfortunately, we do lose Claire. When one of the characters is trying to be saved after almost they're in the hospital, basically in what looks like to be a coma, and when they know that death is gonna take them out while they're, you know, in the hospital. Claire, or Clear, whatever you want to call her, she goes with a couple of the other characters, and there's this explosion, and it basically kills our last survivor from the first film, which is crazy in its own way and unexpected. Now, the cast, as you guys know, there are a few familiar faces. Linda Boyd is in this. At times I couldn't figure out where I've seen her. But she's had a pretty decent filmography. She's in the film She's the Man. She plays Cheryl. She's also Miss Boswell in The Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Um, she's also in a wide range of Christmas movies. Some look like maybe Hallmark. Um, I'm looking at her filmography right now to see exactly if there's anything very well known that she's been in. She was in Supergirl. She played Eve Tessmacher's mother. Um, let's see. I feel like there might be a few other things. A lot of Christmas films. A lot of it does look like Hallmark. R.L. Stein's Haunting Hour. She was in for one episode. A lot of like one episode, you know, one episode guest appearances. Um, and a lot of actors are like that. They play one character in one episode. She was Mrs. Baker in Smallville, another one episode. Um, let's see if there was anything she did in the 90s that you know, uh, might be familiar for a lot of people. One episode of So Weird. She did 2 episodes of The Outer Limit. She was in 14 episodes of The Crow, Stairway to Heaven. I believe there's one movie she was in. Don't quote me on this. I'm going to see if it's her. I don't think it is. So I'm kind of looking at. She was in Generation X, the TV movie. You guys might be familiar with that. Um, I'm looking at the filmography right now to see if there's anything here. She was in, let's see, Highlander, 1 episode, 2 episodes of The X-Files. It doesn't look like it. Um, maybe there's a few that she's been in, but nothing really. She, did some voices for Street Fighter, the animated series, back in 1997. So yeah, she's got a decent filmography. Nothing, too special or out of the ordinary. Tony Todd, everybody knows who Tony Todd is. Alejandro Rey, she I think she's been in a few stuff too. She's in Elysium, Stargate, Blade, Trinity. So, uh, a few things here and there. Who else do we have? I mean, there's a pretty decent cast. Um, Justina Mikado, you guys will recognize her right away. Uh, Beautiful, beautiful woman. Talented actress, very underrated, I feel. Well known for One Day at a Time. She was in 6 Feet Under. She's in Torque. She's had a really good TV and TV and movie career. Uh, Ollie Lauder, you guys know she's been in a lot. AJ Cook has been in a few things. We'll check out and see what she's been in. I don't think I've seen a whole lot of her. I could be wrong. I mean, there might be stuff she's been in. Okay, so I wasn't aware of this. Now I'm having one of those, you know, those moments of I was this years old when I found out. So she plays Jenny in Out Cold. If you guys have not seen Out Cold, you should go ahead and do so. That movie is hilarious. She did The Virgin Suicides. She did Criminal Minds. Probably like 1 or 2 episodes, give or take. Actually, no, she is I guess she was a regular. She did 329 episodes. I did not know that. That's cool. So yeah, I completely forgot, or just it flew over my head that she was Jenny in Out Cold. Out Cold's a hilarious movie, but yeah, pretty cool to find that out. But there is one actor I think you guys are going to get a kick out of. Um, I knew right away who he was. Um, because I've been a fan of this TV series growing up. Now, if you have seen Final Destination 2 and you still can't figure out who Terrence T.C. Carson is, well, he is well known for Living Single. He plays Kyle Barker in Living Single for about 108 episodes. Um, I've always been a fan of Living Single, Queen Latifah. That's where my celebrity crush for Queen Latifah came in. But he's actually not just known for that series. He is known for voicing Kratos in God of War. I believe the first 2 God of War video games before another actor took over. Um, Do not quote me on that. He's also done like a whole bunch of other video games. It's great to see he's still continuing, especially doing a lot of like video game work, which is cool. And then showing up here and there. But yeah, he voiced Kratos. I don't really know why he was replaced. I have nothing against the new actor. I'm a fan of Stargate SG-1. Um, so I like both actors. I just not sure why there was a change. But hey, I can't complain. But yeah, Kratos 1 is what I'm going to call him, since we have two actors playing the character. Kratos 1 is, in this film. So, yeah, wish I could say more about this movie. I think by now a lot of you have seen it, but if you haven't, give it a watch. Even if you've haven't watched the film and you decided to stay for the spoilers, check it out. I don't think you guys will be disappointed. For me, I don't mind spoilers because it just makes my I wouldn't say no. What's the best term? It makes me want to see the movie more, even though I know what's going to happen in some way. It gets me more excited to want to see the film. But yeah, Final Destination 2, I think, is a solid sequel. I think it's right up in par with the first movie. I like the connection that we get with these characters. The chemistry for everybody, I think, is decent for the most part. One actress in this film would go on to play the Blue Fairy, I believe is the character in Once Upon a Time. So that was cool. And, a lot of the actors are still acting today. A lot of them are big names. And yeah, Final Destination 2, just a really good sequel from 2003. And, I wish I could say more. If you have seen this movie, let me know what your thoughts are down in the description below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on the film. Is it one of your favorite out of the franchises? For me, at least, for now, I would say it's probably my first favorite sequel out of the franchise. But I'll let you know what my favorites are once I get done with the series franchise review of this films. Or no, let's stop. Rewind. Um, I'll let you guys know more when I get to the other films and let you know what my favorite sequels are. But just a little spoiler: Part 2 is up there as my favorite. I like the connection that we got and everything. So definitely. Um, I'm glad we got this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it. A lot of horror films don't need sequels, and we got this. And I think the writers really did a fantastic job tying everything together. So kudos to them. But if you enjoyed my review and my thoughts and little facts on the film, then give it a thumbs up. It's very much appreciated, and it keeps me going. It allows my video, to be seen. So, you can share the video too. And thank you guys. So, if you're new to the channel and you like movie reviews like this, I have a whole wide variety of them. I have a playlist where you can check out all my movie reviews. And we're getting close to hitting a milestone, and that is 300 movie reviews. So, right now we're in the early, close to mid 280s. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. I don't know. But yeah, we're getting close. I think right now it's like 283, 84. I could be wrong. I could be, losing track on numbers there. But yeah, wish I could say more in this video. But thank you guys so much for the support. And definitely keep an eye out and stay tuned when part 3 comes out. So, as you guys know the drill, I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, guys, you guys have a good one. My stomach wants to growl and say hello. I don't know if the audio picked it up, and if it did, I apologize. But you guys have a good one. Take care, and I will see you guys very, very soon.